Oh, hi. Chicken face. How are you, everybody? Welcome to Mancow Monday Night Live, and it is live tonight. And Ralph, jump on when you have Marco Polo. Every time I say Marco, you say Polo. Can I hear it? Marco. No, I say Polo. Marco. No, not you. Marco. Polo. Okay, all right. Marco Polo is, sure it's not his real name. It's what they call a nom de plume for the Biden laptop report. This is, boy, there's some X-rated stuff on there. We're going to talk about that. Trump in court, they won't let him see his boy Barron graduate from school. This is a tragedy. Do you remember Rosie O'Donnell, how funny it was that the kid was mentally challenged probably, and maybe there was some retardation there and some other stuff, and just how funny it was to them and how they bashed this little kid. Really wicked and vile. Rosie O'Donnell, shame on you, and others too. I mean, Kathy Griffin with his fake head cut off like she murdered the president. And of course, ivermectin, I won't forget, a former employee of mine who did sports for me, did sports segments for me, Jimmy Kimmel, who at the time I liked a great deal. And I liked a non-political Jimmy Kimmel. A lot of people liked a non-political Mancow, but I think it's impossible these days. But do you remember him with the ivermectin? Horse pills. Trump says take horse pills. Well, it turns out, and you won't see this through the lamestream media, it actually worked. The ivermectin is a good thing, and about as dangerous as a Tylenol, maybe less so. Anti-Jewish, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic protesters shut down the Golden Gate Bridge, and they also shut down the entrance to O'Hare. Just think, if you're in Chicago, and really any airport now, right? Get going, move on. The bullshit, as I'm waiting for my wife or she's waiting for me when I pull up at the airport, the fit that they throw if you're parked there for a second waiting to pick up your loved ones, but yet these anti-Semitic, imagine if they were anti-black. Oh, sweet Jesus, which I got no time for racism. I don't care what it looks like. But this is okay now on college campuses to walk around. I told you my daughter has a Jewish roommate and was scared, frightened of these protesters. And when they're talking, what they're chanting, of course, they're also chanting in Dearborn, Michigan, death to America. And I remind them that in their country, say death to Hamas in Gaza. Say death to Hamas in Gaza and see how long that lasts. Death to Hamas. See how long you live. And what ungrateful folks that would chant that in Dearborn. And of course, Obama had to get as many of his kind in as he could. And now there's a real problem. I remember visiting. I was on tour with the Smashing Pumpkins just as a friend, a mascot, and there were certain stores where it's so dangerous and so Islamic, and I want to say St. Paul, but in that area, that it's every door. You can come in. And this is Obama. Boy, there's a lot more hatred since Obama. Do you feel it? I didn't feel these things. I didn't think these things before Obama. The Supreme Court today has decided that there can be limitations on mutilating children under the guise of gender surgery. So that's good news. There's a win. I was reading people. We have the guest. Okay. Marco. Good job. Now that's going to be for the rest of the night. That's your job, and I'll give you a snack when it's over. But Mancow, when are you going to get back on radio? Well, George Soros just bought up one of the major companies. Was it Ira Glass that came in? Really a wonderful guy. Mo something was another guy that came in. Mobituaries he did, and he talked about famous people's obituaries and what happened to famous people. I find that fascinating. What happened to famous people after they did their famous thing? What happened to Paul Revere afterwards? What happened to Lindbergh after the big flight and the baby being kidnapped? I mean, just this guy talk. Anyway, he worked for NPR, and he couldn't wait. You write everything? You're one. And he said, I have a staff. I think one of these guys told me the staff of like hundreds. The editorial board at NPR is 87 Biden voters, 0 Republicans, 0 free thinkers, NPR, national propaganda radio. And again, how is that okay? That this guy, Soros, is buying up. There goes my notes. Soros is buying up. Again, it's not scripted. It's just headlines. But, I wanted to say the moon is going to be visible tonight. Now, the last time that happened was last night. I remember stories of my dad was mayor of Lakehurst, New Jersey, and to keep down the mosquitoes, they would spray, I imagine, DDT, and the trucks would spray and the kids would run in the back like silly shits before my time. And science was settled. DDT and the stuff that they sprayed, and my dad was mayor, and my brothers say they remember running. And I just, the science was settled. And thank God somebody questioned science. And what about the flamidite babies, right? That ended up, what did they ended up using that for? Oh, hair loss. Thank God somebody questioned science. And ivermectin, as it turns out, is a hero. And now they're starting to pull fluoride out of some water sources. And this is a very good thing. Fluoride is a poison. Now, I should tell you that my father was anti-fluoride. He's on the cover of a newspaper with JFK. That's the era. And before me. But he did not want anything added to the water. He wanted water to be water. How about that? So he took a lot of heat for it and had to leave in the middle of the night because powerful forces were out to get him. That's what he said. Fluoride was the Nazis loved fluoride, man. They were big fans of fluoride, and you should look into fluoride. Now, having said that, I have cavities in almost every tooth. And I have spent a lot of money, and I've got real dental issues because I had no fluoride. My father would not allow it. But I'm sharp. I'm not a dullard. And I have this theory that a lot of the kids that have gotten endless and lots of fluoride are, have you talked to these people? Have you seen them? Dumb, dullard, zombies. Where does that come from? For the first time in 75 years, Mattel is making Scrabble a little easier for dummies. Scrabble being made easier. How about that? Bigfoot. Do I believe in Bigfoot? I don't know. Yes, but he believes in me. That I know. Flat Earth. I get these comments. Mancow, flat Earth. I don't believe in a flat Earth, but I do believe in a flat moon. How about that? That's pretty good. Oh, I went to see Madonna. I didn't go see Madonna. I went to see Donny Osmond, but my wife got free tickets to see Madonna through our friend Ryan Zuber, and she went, and she said Madonna's 12-year-old daughter was one of the adopted ones. I assume she's African, and she was twerking with, well, all kinds of sexual things went on. So Madonna's still a repulsive piece of shit. I'm not really into tennis shoes. I think we've all met people or had friends that, had, look at these shoes, and they have when I was in the San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose area, man, those guys, the Latino community, a lot of my black friends, I don't care. But anyway, these are $1,000, these Jordans. Yeah, I wouldn't give you a dollar. But I bought a pair of cool kicks off the internet, and I think they might have been owned by a drug dealer or laced with something, because I've been tripping all day. Thank you. The delayed laugh from the studio, that makes it even better. I tell these jokes, and my wife and kids go, and that's why I do it. Liberal. I saw a poster today in Lincoln Park. The Democratic convention's coming to Chicago. Let's raise hell. And communists stand up. Is there any difference between a liberal and a communist anymore? Seriously, Saudi Arabia is in charge of women's rights for the UN. I mean, who's in charge of ladies' rights? Muslim Saudi Arabia. Because when you think women's rights, you think Saudi Arabia. Noni, and cha-cha. Yeah, that's some funny shit right there. Diddy, by the way, is no longer going by the name Diddy. He's changed his names many times in my lifetime. Now it's not Diddy, it's Did It. That's his new name. So, and of course, around the world, the globalists attacking who? Think about the enemy. Who is our enemy? China. No, who is our enemy? The farmer. They're cracking down on farmers, not shitheads blocking off the airport because they hate Israel. No, farmers. That's who Canada wants to get. That's who they want to get in the Netherlands. Farmers. Anyway, Marco Polo is coming up shortly. I have not started the show yet. This is me just warming up. And look at this beautiful lighter somebody sent me. Isn't that nice? That's what anyway. I wasn't here. Anyway, I did interview him years ago, but Errol Morris, the great documentarian, talked about the STFU school of interviewing, which is shut the Shut the F up. Taiwan earthquake. Did anybody, when they heard about the Taiwan earthquake, think China did it? A lot of people think that the Japanese earthquake was, with the big one, was caused by Japan. I do believe that they have the ability to cause earthquakes. Well, we know they do. And they have the ability to affect weather. Chemtrails versus contrails. I don't know. I have seen where a jet is flying and it looks like lots of spray is coming out and then it stops. And someone said, Mancow, you idiots, just because they went to another level. We have had people to talk about chemtrails, and the truth is, and it remains for years, I don't know. I know that in the city in Lincoln Park, they were crisscrossing, and I touched my car, and I had just cleaned it, and it wasn't sticky. And after they went over, the car was sticky. That's it. And the experts we've had on don't really know what they're doing. So the verdict for me is still out. So it's hot here. I've got the windows open. It's hot here in Mueller Manor for the first time, it seems like, in a very long time. Can't wait to complain about how hot it is in Chicago. And remember, your government wants you to conserve AC. Do not use AC. We don't have electricity, but make sure you get that electric car. And again, more bullshit, right? Yeah, conserve. Don't use any power. Can we help you use less power? Where's the power coming? Oh, get a car, charge it. Did you hear about the fox identified as a chicken? But the hen house, they didn't want him in the hen house. Why? He's suing Planet Fitness or something. What's the story about the guy? Anyway, I'm sure you've heard the story by now. Taiwan, our guy came out, Blinken, and said, we're not Taiwan. We don't, Taiwan. What's Taiwan? Taiwan has been great friends to us. My father's prophecy is about as Taiwan goes, you'll know America's gone. This was in the 70s. My father told me this vision he had. And the fact that we are turning our backs on Taiwan, and they love us. They love us. Oh, man, the Cuban people love us. The Taiwanese love us because they felt oppression. And for us to turn our backs on Taiwan, it breaks my heart. Dave Salvaggio sent me a picture of all these big doors. Why do they have big doors? He says because of giants, or that was his theory. You see the old architecture. Some will say, well, because they were on horseback and you needed bigger doors to ride in on your horse. But these doors are just monstrous at the Vatican and other places. Were they for giants? I don't know. I talked about how when I was a kid, people used to get a car battery and put the wires in the lake and the fish would float up, how evil that was. And dynamite fish. Did any of you ever dynamite fish? See, this is some corn-fed BS from the back road of Suicide Falls, Missouri, man. Dirt roads. But anyway, yeah, we ate meat. I raised black Angus cattle. I had a John Deere tractor, and the elites want me to stop telling you to eat meat. They want you to eat bugs, and they of course can eat. And they don't want you to go anywhere except for 15 minutes, close to your house. So those 15-minute cities. I'm getting a report. I don't know that it's real. I don't want to say it. I hope it's real. I don't want to wish death on anyone. Boy, you're not a good force for the world. I'm hearing that Carl Schwab has passed away. Can you look that up? If Carl Schwab is dead, that's a rumor that was going around. I don't know. We know OJ is dead. Where do you think he is? Do you think it was worth it? Do you think it was worth it? You think right now Flame's licking his ass, sitting there getting a pineapple shoved up him by Hitler? You think OJ's thinking, that was good. I'm glad I got rid of my ex-wife. Or do you think he could have just walked away? And poor Ron Goldman, what did he do? We're going to have Cato Kalin on. He's an old friend of mine. So anyway, the shit show that is the Democratic Convention coming to Chicago. Can't wait. I took a urine test yesterday. Ralph, get ready. Get the show intro ready because this is going to be it. Okay, get the show ready. Not yet, Ralph. Not yet, Ralph. I took a urine test yesterday. Boy, my kleptomania is out of control. Go. Pull the string. Start the show. Let's go, Marco Polo. Marco, start the show. Let's start it. Would you see if it's Tucker's next Thursday? Just give me a thumbs up in here. I'll be able to see it. It looks like Schwab has not passed away. It has nothing to do with finances. If you don't know who Schwab is, he's right out of still alive. Well, okay. We'll be okay though. We'll get through it. Does it say Tucker Carlson next Thursday night? Is that when I'm having? I got dinner with Tucker Carlson coming up, and also dinner with Frank Stallone coming up soon, which I'm looking forward to. Okay. So let's bring on our guest, Marco. Okay, hey brother, how are you?
Good evening. Thanks.
Do you want your fake? Do you want a fake name up there? Do you want your real name?
Just perfect, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Garrett Ziegler is fine.
So this is the weirdest doggone thing.
Where did you get it? Did Kelly give you a copy?
Well, do you want? I mean, I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Let's
not mention any names. Kelly's very hot sister got it for me. Do you know her?
I know her very well.
She's also gone up to Trump and gone up to Stone, and she goes up to everybody and says she's my buddy, which is great. So do you know where I got this at?
I'm assuming Kelly's sister Nancy.
I just said don't name names.
If they don't have the surname, we're good.
Okay. Anyway, she handed this to me at Mar-a-Lago.
Wonderful.
So how cool is that?
We've shipped 13,000. And it's all grassroots. We took us months to get on Amazon. We've been canceled from different payment processors. You know the deal.
So I'm shocked. To thumb through it, it's like a Hustler magazine. And so you got to be careful. I had no idea that she knew who Marco Polo was. I didn't know who Marco Polo was. I've had a lot of people say to me that they want it, and I say, well, I don't know how to get it. They did get me more. I assume from you. I didn't know they knew you.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. Those are our BLM stickers that trigger that.
Well, I put a few of them up on in bathrooms, and I put a few of them up on gas pumps.
They don't make it an hour on gas pumps. They really get under people's skin because from afar they're the exact dimension as the BLM, and once they get up close, they realize they're conned, and it just. Have you
heard of anybody on the Black Lives Matter adding a 0 or an O in front of lives?
No.
Think about what I'm saying. Add a 0 in front. Now, picture the sign in your mind.
Yes.
Add an O in front of lives. What does it say?
I don't know.
Black olives matter.
Oh, okay. You're switching up the.
And a lot of Italians will walk by and go, "Yeah, I like black olives." The Greeks too. Yeah, I like black olives. That's right. Okay. In my neighborhood here, I'm in Wilmette, North Shore, Chicago. Are you familiar with this area?
I am. I'm a huge Cubs fan. That's probably the only thing you won't like about me. But sorry. I'm from Illinois. I'm from downstate. My dad grew up on a dairy farm, and WGN was the only station.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that great radio station.
We can talk about Chicago for a long time. I'm down in Edmonton.
Well, let's not.
A couple hours.
I'm just telling you, walking through my neighborhood, it's like everybody. I want to go for a walk, take my dog out, whatever. And everybody, not everybody, but the BLM signs, science. Mm-hmm. I listen to science. Everyone is welcome here. Really? Now we've got these people here. I felt so bad. And as a Christian, I was
those
moved.
People make me sin too.
No, but I see these people and they use their children and they're illegals. And I bought a bag of groceries and I saw the guy go and there was like 100 bags of groceries because this is a nice neighborhood. The people were nice. They took the groceries, just went, shit, they don't care about the groceries. It is, and here they are, and everyone's welcome. And then I had another neighbor that said, where are all the black homeowners? Buy a house. And then she had up another day, look around. Where are the black businesses? Well, there's no businesses in here. It's a residential neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's just,
it's such a warped way of life because they don't live according to the values that they espouse.
You move to Evanston. You want all that. Move to Evanston. Let your, pay for reparations, pay for all that. The point is, I just hate that we can't, and from the government too, signs everywhere. And I'm not quoting the Tesla song, but just a sign. Look at this sign, just sign. And the sign, I mean, I've got a block away. There's a telephone pole, like 10 signs, and they're here and there, and this is zone, and do this and don't do that, and shit. You can't fish, you can't collect rainwater, you can't do anything with this government. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're really, prison planet. Jones had it right. Okay, so first of all, everybody that saw this book wanted it, and I didn't have it to get it for them.
I'll send you a box. You can hand them out.
Well, you send me a box. Okay, I'm looking for some bucks.
I will.
Okay, so speaking of Kelly's sister, yeah,
we met very briefly 3 years ago.
And a cigar smoker.
Our mutual friend Tim, introduced us, but I did not get your information.
Yeah.
And so that was 3 months ago. Next month, May of 21, right after I left the White House. And
wait, you were at the White House?
Yeah, I worked for Peter Navarro, who's actually in jail. So I was right there with Peter for 2 years, and
Does he deserve to be in jail?
Of course not.
No.
Of course not. Hunter did the exact same thing he did. In fact, a lot of people on the right bring up the example of Eric Holder, who was also held in contempt, as you know, when he was the AG. But Peter has a stronger case than Eric Holder because there's a lot of legal precedent for cabinet officials being compelled to testify to the Hill. But Peter was a White House staffer. So, and not only did they send him to the clink, they didn't allow him out on appeal.
Clink.
So Steve Bannon, he was allowed out on appeal, but Peter wasn't. So Peter's in a work camp.
Is Bannon going in? Is Bannon going to jail?
Not if Trump gets in.
I have a problem with it's very unfair, Garrett. I have a problem that I hate Bannon. Why? I hate Bannon only because of the way he treated Roger Stone and the shit he said about Stone, and Roger's a buddy of mine. So I
know about that. I know about that. It's almost
is Stone wrong?
Like,
is Stone wrong?
I'd have to see the source documents. I don't know what Bannon said in the grand jury testimony. That's the main.
Is that some kind of voodoo head over your shoulder? What is that up there on? What is that?
You want me to bring it down? This was made by my wife's grandpa. They live in the Quincy area.
Chieftain or something?
Yeah, they own some ground on the banks of the Illinois River, and he's so good he can see it in his mind just from a block of wood, and he carved that by hand. And it's
Bring it down.
Head.
Bring it down.
It's a chief's head.
I thought it was like some kind of Zulu African thing or something.
This was done in the 80s. Yeah, Phil.
Oh no! Just hold it up. Hold it up. Oh no, that's cool. That's cool. It's not great, but it's pretty cool.
I think it's a
Cherokee
chief, but he did this in the 80s by hand.
I'm Wapaho, I'm Wapaho. I'm Native American.
That,
I'm part Italian, part Native American. I'm Wapaho.
Peter gave me that boat.
Okay.
This is
all right. Put it back. Let's get back to the Hunter. Okay. Why does this matter?
Oh, it matters because it's the most primary source material we'll ever have about a sitting U.S. first family ever. We'll never.
How dirty? I mean, the Bidens are just filthy, right? Dirty.
Well,
your shirt's tight enough. Your shirt's tight enough. You look good.
In the superlative, we lay out through Venmo receipts, email notifications, text messages, transcriptions of voicemails, federal sex trafficking, FARA violations, Mann Act violations, illegal lobbying, and money laundering. And this report took us 18 months to write. And we did it because none of the big established think tanks on the right would go through this material. You said it yourself. It is, although the genitalia is redacted, it is graphic. We don't censor anything that we don't have to. Yeah,
Garrett, a typical meatball here, I guess, but everything you just said is unbelievable. And the fact is, I didn't care about any of that. I just couldn't believe how I'm crazy, Mancow, but this is unbelievable. It is a shocker. It's very heavy. It's very, this is, hold on.
It's a phone book. It's a phone book of old.
You hear that? If I drop that, I don't have my alarm on right now. If I had my alarm on, every alarm in my house would go off because I dropped it before. Okay. How can someone get a copy of it? Oh, it's right there. Order the book, Marco Polo.
So the e-reader is online for free. So everybody listening to this can go to BidenReport.com.
Yeah.
And if you want a physical copy, go to BidenLaptopReport.com. And we released it in October of 2022, but we've had no.
Garrett, let me interrupt you just because I'm getting bored. It's not you. I have a very bad attention span. I just said I was going to STF you and not talk during you, but here I am. What's the most shocking part to you? What the whole book, this whole giant book? What's the most shocking part?
The business transactions with the Chi-Con.
See, for me, it's the chicks and the crack and all those photos. What a dirty dog, man.
Oh, and this is
a president's son. I wouldn't allow pictures like that to be taken of me.
They're bringing decency back. That's what Jill said. And their version of decency is foot jobs and crack cocaine.
Yeah, they should not let this guy take communion in church. Do you think Ukraine is all about him laundering money? Is that why we're in Ukraine?
I think he's probably 55-45.
And also, we've admitted, which we denied forever, we've admitted publicly that we have chemical weapons and biological weapons there that we're making in Ukraine And Russia doesn't want that there. And I get it. Okay.
There's so many threads to pull. Whether you want to talk about the Chi-Com, sex trafficking, each city has a connection. Each city. So we actually have some Chicagoans in the dossier. Members of the Daley Clan, Sean Conlon. This is a political mafia. So wherever people are from, I've been to 15 states, got 35 to go this year. Anywhere I'm at, there is a Biden connection. They're a nonviolent mafia, political mafia. 57 years this guy's been on the dole.
Nonviolent like Obama's chef? Like all the people
I don't
know
even
Clinton?
know if Obama's nonviolent. For Joe, the only example of violence we have is Joey actually got in the Senate seat in 1972 by working with local labor thugs to shut down the printing press of a paper that was running negative ads against him. This is all laid out in a book called I Heard You Paint Houses by Charles Brandt about killing.
Great book.
Great book. We actually put the cover of the book, and we sent him a copy, but he's a liberal, so he didn't say anything back to us. But we put the cover in the back of this, and that book has 3 whole pages on Joey's campaign's shakedown in 72. So Joey's position in the Senate is in part due to literal mob activity.
So the Irishman, the movie, of course, has De Niro in it. Pesci gives the performance of a lifetime, but I love how when you look, you can see De Niro's shoes are like this, and he's such a little pipsqueak. He always wants to fight Trump. Trump would beat the shit out of him. All right, brother. Garrett,
We're
I do remember
on the day that DJT has first day in the trial. It's unbelievable. I'm glad we're talking today.
Yeah. What was the name of the cigar place we met? The Crofton.
Gosh, I'll have it in my calendar.
The Crofton.
I can't name it off the top of my head.
I'm naming it. It's the Crofton.
It was a great place.
Right across from Gibson's Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was a beautiful day, just like today.
Look, brother, lock her up. The chance nothing ever happens. No one ever goes to jail. Epstein is, who knows where Epstein is. Mm-hmm. They don't allow Mossad to be killed. Mossad doesn't get killed. I had a situation where I was at a famous person's house in Florida, and I was not invited by that famous person, but he was somebody that frequented there, and I was offered some female company. And I'm sitting in the room, and I am going through the channels, and I mean, I'm up in the thousands now, just click, 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 like I do. And I see the side of my face, the other side of my face, above the bed, the foot of the bed, and I don't know where any of these cameras are, and I can't find them. But I a big time celebrity used that place. Why don't we know who Epstein, who the clients were? Why are we still waiting on hearing who Diddy has videos of? Because
people aren't willing to die for the truth. We got to be willing. Each of us have to be.
I am, but not stupidly. I feel like I've kind of died for the truth. Believe me, I've certainly taken a lot of.
But think about all the great men who've been assassinated.
But Garrett, this is the stupid shit that I hear from people. This isn't me fighting with you, but this is the stupid shit I hear from people. Yeah, I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die for this country. And there are certain things that I would. What would you have me do? What would you have the so they're not locking up Hillary and Bill Clinton? Okay, so they're not Epstein skated. So what do we do? Honestly, what am I to do? You need to do more, Mancow. Yeah.
Well, I think you're in a unique position. Hundreds, if not millions, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people know you and listen to you. I think that you have to put things out.
I'm doing it.
Shaking your head.
I'm doing it.
Truth is a lower bar than justice. Me and you, if we're not in law enforcement, justice is a higher bar. And all we can do, most regimes. But
you're saying die. You said people got to be willing to die. How do you die? How do I die for what we believe in? Listen, if there's certain things, I think there's an army amassing right now on our shores. I don't believe these people are all here innocently. We're going to see what happens if Trump gets elected. You're going to see the cities burn, and it's going to be, people are upset about fascism. They don't like fascism. Well, we know that's all bullshit. They're going to want to put their boots on our throats and take our guns. At that point, you fight. But right now, Because I hear people say that you got to be willing to die, or you will. Yeah, I'm willing to die for America. So what? Now what? Where? Should I have already done it? Should I be dead right now?
I think you have to. No, I'm answering your question by or furthering the discussion by saying each of us has to take into account what our natural gifts are, what our resources are. For me, I don't want to get involved in the quote unquote pure political sphere. I don't want to get a normal career path of someone like me would have been to stay in DC and work at the Heritage Foundation for 15 years until some other. What'd you say?
You worked for Heritage?
No, I'm saying somebody with.
That's what you could have done.
That's what I could have done. And I think I'm making a much bigger impact here because Heritage would have never signed off on this document.
Why?
Because it opens him up to litigation. Hunter is suing me
that's right.
and his sugar brother Kevin Morris. So I don't want to be a martyr. I'm not saying go out and run in gunfire, but do whatever is necessary to get the truth out. If that means having to spend, most people are afraid of even getting in the news, of fighting the lawfare. And I think that is essential for anybody who wants to move the needle. DJT could hang it up any day, but he's on a hero's journey. I really believe that. And
who's on a hero's journey?
Donald John Trump.
Oh, yeah. Look,
and I think that
Garrett, you know, my neighbors had the BLM sign up, and I went, you know, they're anti-family, your family, they're anti-capitalism, your husband's a capitalist, they're anti, did I say Christian already? They're anti-this, they're anti-this, they're anti-this, and they go, okay, and you got the sign in your yard, and we know how crooked that group is. All the money
like the blood stolen on their door stamp, though. That is a way for them to basically.
Oh, it's virtue signaling. I get it, Garrett. Yeah. I'm gonna end the interview, but you did not. I'm not angry, but you didn't answer me because I hear this all the time. You didn't really answer me. You said, "Well, I could do this and this," but you said willing to die. More people need to be willing to die. I think we are willing to die. I think patriots are willing to die. That it hasn't come to that yet. Some people still stupidly believe in elections. I haven't believed in elections in a very long time. Bill Hicks, my friend, radio friend, is that a real friend? I don't know. You know, I like this puppet. I like this puppet. Wait a minute, ignore the puppet master. So I, you know, it's two sides of the same coin. A lot of times, I do think Donald Trump is something different than we've had. I mean, Mitt Romney is another Hillary Clinton, and I knew it at the time. And I had dinner with Mitt and Jimmy John, the sandwich guy, and the guy from Portillo's.
It's a uni-party.
And what a stroke that Mitt Romney is. What a stroke
that is a revelation of that uni-party. Yeah. We criticize Republicans more than Democrats in the report.
Yeah. Okay.
But
you still, Garrett, I don't. You're going to be mad at yourself later, and you're going to think of an answer. Do you want to try? How would you have me die? How would you have patriots die today? You say we got to be willing to die. I think we are willing to die. Now what?
Well, again, it doesn't have to be. You have to be willing to die today, but each person's opportunity to get
more people to speak up. Is that what you're saying?
But it's more than speak up.
Because everybody got the shots. They didn't want to lose their jobs. I had friends that got their shots because I want to see Granny in the hospital. Okay. And I've lost a lot of them. They're gone now.
I think that it requires actually loving people, which is telling them the truth no matter what it costs you. And being there.
What do you think you get at my house? What do you think you get at my house? My one of my brother-in-laws. Well, I got all the shots and I like Hillary and I think Biden's doing a good job. Am I stupid? Yes.
I would ask him to go back to the
you're stupid.
I'd go back to the very basics.
And if the economy is so great, why do they have to tell us all the time the economy is great? And I was on the Roger Stone show at WABC New York, where I had a regular show for years, and he said, I predict gas at over $4. And I'm like, yeah, well, come to Chicago, Roger. It's $4.17 today by my house. You know, look at a bag of chips. I posted a bag of potato chips for $7. And anyone that can walk into that booth and think, that voting booth, and think, oh, the economy's good under Biden, they keep beating that drum because it's so horrible, right? The economy is great. Have you bought food? Have you been to a restaurant? Have you filled up your gas tank? How stupid are people? And yet some people still like Biden. Let me tell you something, Garrett. I want people to get this book. It is a revelation. Get a hard copy. It's impressive. Show your friends. And Marco Polo there. Marco, this is the lion's den. I hope you knew that before you tuned in. This is where the angels and the devils fight, and they're choosing up sides tonight and every night over you. Are we in end times? I don't know. Some people thought the rapture was going to happen during the eclipse. I follow what the Bible says, which is no man shall know. We don't know. I really regret that the April Fool's show was the night we had the preacher on talking about the rapture. There was nothing foolish about it, and I was completely serious. So you have to pick. Are you going to be on the side of truth, or are you going to be on the dirty side? Huh? Because exposed here in this book, it is something else. I'm afraid I'm going to flash something. There's so much filth in here that I'm afraid if I show it, they're going to pull this podcast. So you're here. You were here in the lion's den. You heard a lot of stuff that you haven't heard anywhere else. So you got to pick angels or devils. Remember in Animal House? Me, I'm part man, I'm part monkey, and I'm all mystery. But maybe I've given you a few pinprick moments in a colorless sky inside the enigma to get to a little bit of truth. And as my mom always said, shut up.